Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Racers News Network Live. Yeah, we're a little late, but we kind of decided last minute to do this, and Pete had some stuff to finish up at the shop, and I had to get set up. So here we are. So
I'm going to
kind of
call this.
kind of
I'm going to call this fashionably late.
fashionably late. There we go. That's it. Yeah, I'm fashionably early, and we're fashionably late. So so a few things to talk about. Um, Obviously, this past weekend was the divisional race in Epping. Uh, Pete, I think it's safe to say that you've gone more rounds in the past 5 weeks than you probably have in the last 3 years.
So I'm going to brag for a minute, although it's not something really worth bragging about, but I'm going to do it anyway. I am the. I have the highest points total in Super Street for a grade two.
Really?
How's that? I don't
Now,
know
what
what
I've
award. I don't know what award you get for that, but that's what I am.
all clap.
That's probably the best thing I'll get out of that. Yeah.
Well, you actually, you know what? You did get an award. You got the Taylor took the weekend off award,
Yeah, thank God for that.
but
Because
you
I
still had
will
to go
tell
up
you that
against Killer.
the two rounds that I won up at Epping, I would not have won if I was racing her. So yeah, it was two extremely lucky rounds. My car was broke. I did not know what was wrong with it. I made a pass. It went 11:02 with my foot in the radiator, breaking up, and the person that I raced didn't look over their shoulder and broke out. Went back, thought I found the problem. Second round, it ran even worse. Again, raced someone that didn't look back and broke out, and I think I went like an 11:20. The only thing that I did on that round was I had a way better light than the opponent, so it made it look a little closer than it was, but it was still a very lucky round for me. And then I went back, found the issue, and then I had to race Keith Mayers and with essentially no time trials on the day because we went right into eliminations on Sunday in two completely garbage runs. I had nothing for him, and it's he is a champion caliber racer. He's won more rounds in a year than I have in my whole life. And when you go, I've raced him before and I beat him before. And when I have my A game going, I'll race anybody, but that was far from an A game. So we'll call it a third round loss.
Well, still, I mean, compared you, I mean, I'm not busting on you by any stretch of the imagination, but you've struggled over the last year or so, and but you
Yeah.
definitely made strides over the past, like I said, 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it's been.
Yeah. Yeah. The last year I did really good at the Dover race. I actually run it up for the day. Listen, it's growing pains with the whole fuel injection thing,
Yeah,
and I'm learning, and I'm not chasing points or championships, so I could afford to learn.
right.
If I woke up March 1st and said I'm going to go for a points championship, this is not the way I would be doing it because it wouldn't work. But
Right.
I could wake up March 1st of next year and be very confident in how my stuff is going to run for the year because my car ran very good during the test session and during the time trials for the event. And like I said, I ran into that issue with the fuel pump, which could happen if you're carbureted or fuel injection. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, it's coming around. It's there's going to be a time when people will eventually understand why I switched over to fuel injection.
Right.
I'm not quite there, but I got to tell you, I've only been to two divisionals this year. One of them I went 5 rounds. The other one I went three. Um, and it's definitely not because of my driving ability. I mean, I'm pretty good at letting go of the button. But I've never been a top end racer, and one of the reasons why I went with the EFI is because I felt like it would make my car more consistent because it's the only shot I got because I am not a good top end racer. So I
Right.
can let
Right.
go of the button and hopefully I can make the car run really good and we'll see what happens.
Cool. So on the subject of the test session,
Yes.
um, obviously there was an incident, um, in staging. Um, Something happened. Supposedly it was a stuck throttle
Yep.
in one of the cars coming up staging and impacted into Ray Butler's car, the blue Malibu. Everybody probably knows Ray and Lori.
Yep.
Um, and just missed you, just missed your son. Um,
I will tell you that the thing that saved my car and my son's life was the crosswalk. Because if Ray and I were bumper to bumper like you would normally be, um, where we were, I'll call it 20 feet behind Ray. The car coming through missed my door and my son by about 6 inches. Where if we were 20 feet up, that would not have been the case.
right, right.
So a lot of things to be grateful for. One, that my son is still with us. But the main thing that we're grateful for is that Lori is still with us, and that was the most horrific thing that I ever witnessed. Um, Hope to God I never have to witness it again, and you know, thank God that she's still here. She is banged up, but she has the attitude. If anyone knows Lori, you know what kind of person she is and what kind of personality she has, and she still has that same personality, and that's what's going to help get her through all this craziness because she is a
Yeah,
trooper.
yeah. She has like a dozen or so broken ribs.
I heard between 14 and 15,
Right.
which is over half.
Um,
And
right.
anyone that's even broken one rib, like I had people calling me saying, I can't believe she has so many broken ribs. I've broken one or two at some point in my life, and I thought I was going to die. And I can only imagine what she's feeling. Um, she had a couple. I don't really want to say exactly what her medical diagnosis was because I don't know for 100% certainty, and I don't want to play the telephone game where it winds up being more than it is. But she had some internal injuries that um, they kept an eye on, and obviously they felt confident enough to discharge her. She went home last night.
Oh, she did good.
Yeah, she went home last night. That I know. Her and my wife talk, and she's just, you don't want to see this happen to anybody, but her personality and her attitude, and she's a trooper. She'll get through it. And like I told him last night when I was talking to him, I can't wait to sit down with you guys and have a beer at the racetrack again. Um,
Right.
Probably won't be this year, but when it happens, it's like a cheers moment, and it's going to be a good day.
Right. And just so everybody knows, Ray also was injured. He was luckily, I guess you could say, in the car. I'm not 100% sure. You'd know better than I would. if he was buckled in or in the process of getting buckled in, but at least he was in his racing seat and had some
Right.
and had more protection around him.
I feel like, and you know, I've talked to him, but I really no reason to ask specifics. But I feel like he was buckled in, but his helmet wasn't on yet, because I know he whacked his head on the roll cage. Again, nothing that rendered him being in the hospital, but he was pretty beat up. His thigh that was facing the door X, by his driver door, you know, he said he was sore. Um, Obviously, with what's going on with his wife, he's not gonna walk around and be the woe is me guy. I mean, he wouldn't be like that even if nothing happened to his
Right,
wife.
right,
But
right.
you know, I saw him Saturday at the track, and people were asking him questions, and they were, you know, normal questions, not like prying, but like, you know, how are you and how bad's the car? And the only thing that he would say over and over again is, "My wife is alive. She's going to be okay. That's all I care about."
All that matters, yeah. Yeah, because I
Again,
saw her jump on Facebook on, I think I sent you on Saturday maybe.
yeah,
And I was just like, hey, how are you? Obviously I know you're a little bit you're banged up, but just wanted to know if you're okay.
sure.
And she said, yeah, I'll get through it, no worries.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, she's funny and she has her sense of humor, and her along with my wife have lost a you know fair amount of weight in the last year or so, and you know they kid around with each other about, you know, maybe if I didn't lose the weight, I would have had a little extra padding and I wouldn't have gotten so banged up, and it's just it's funny that even with what she's going through, that she could still joke around, and that's what I mean about the attitude. You know, it's like the perfect attitude for going through something like this.
Right, yeah, for powering through all the injuries.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but there was a GoFundMe that was started that's been beyond successful.
right.
If
And I will
anybody's
tell you again,
Right,
when I talked to Ray, you know, he couldn't reiterate enough. There were three or four people around him, and he couldn't talk enough about how overwhelming it was for the people that are reaching out and supporting, and it's not even a money thing, right? It's the people that are saying, you know, if you need me, call me, or what could I do, or hey, just checking on you. It's listen, the money's fantastic, but at the end of the day, when you get overwhelmed, you're going to be overwhelmed by support, in more than just financially. And he's just like he was almost welling up just talking about, like, I don't know how I'm going to ever be able to repay everyone, to thank them, and um, you know, that's the reason why they got the support they did, because they're like that.
they're
You
the
know what
kind
I'm
of people
saying?
that they are, yeah.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
certain people like, and listen, I'm gonna you know take my hat off to you, with the stuff that you did, for other racers in need and all that stuff, that when it came time that you needed something, you had an overwhelming amount of support because of the kind of person that you are. Same thing goes for Ray and Lori. They're phenomenal people. They're going to be missed when they're not there. And it shows by the amount of people that want to support them in their time of need.
Yeah. Yeah, you may know who you know, but you don't know who you really know
Correct.
until something happens. That's the biggest lesson that I learned.
Correct. Yep. And again, it's not a monetary thing, right?
No, it
Because
has nothing to do with it, it
no,
has absolutely
he's not
nothing to do with the
not looking
money.
at someone, or they aren't looking at someone and saying, "Oh, this person only gave $5." It's it's not like that.
Right.
It's a gesture. It's the I'm thinking of you. It's the, you know, I'm here to help in any way that I can. That's the stuff that, you know, how when you're going through a tough time or you're dealing with idiots or whatever, and you say, I witnessed something that restores my faith in humanity. Well, That's what they're going through right now, and anyone that's watching, that's what we're all seeing. So it's
Yep.
you never want to see this happen, but when the overextended family comes together like this and they show the true colors of what we're all about, that's what makes it real.
Yeah, and a huge hats off to Danielle Torito for starting that. I mean, the
Yes.
next day essentially, and she was at the track with her husband, obviously, and her daughter who was racing her junior. Her husband was racing his super gas car,
Right.
and she did it on her phone at the track, and she came over and talked to me and said, "Hey, look, this is the deal." And I said, "Yeah, sure, not a problem. We'll take care of it." So,
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt.
hats off to her. But so back to a little bit of racing. All in all, not a bad weekend for racing in Epping.
No, oh, by the way, did you ever announce the winner of the guessing game?
Yes, actually,
What was the number? Because that's kind of what I want to talk about.
297 was the number that I was told.
Two
Uh,
ninety seven.
297.
Okay.
We had a two-way tie, and it was the winner was determined by 3 minutes.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
our buddy from Lebanon Valley, Dan Bell, has won a Lebanon Valley Dragway prize pack.
And
I messaged his wife today. I said
and
I can
who?
ship it or I'll deliver it to Chaos.
Yeah, right.
And I said,
Who
but tell him,
who came in second place? Who was the tie?
Pete Deco. He's from your second home neighborhood.
Yeah, Jersey, right?
Well, he was from Jersey,
Right.
but he lives
Originally
down.
from Florida.
He lives somewhere in the area where you have your vacation home.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
But yeah, it was literally I looked at it and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They were both 298, and I'm
So
like,
I brought anyone that was there with me sees the big bald guy with the beard. Uh, been friends with him forever. And last year is the first year that he came racing with me, and he came to this event last year. And then he came again this year and was shocked at the lack of cars compared to last year.
oh, I
And
know.
I don't remember what the numbers were last year, whatever. Um, and then of course you get, and this is going to roll into the next thing that I want to talk about. NHRA is going down the hill. It's IHRA is coming back. NHRA treats their friggin' sportsman members like shit. Blah blah blah. Um, I have to believe it was way more of a schedule thing with Indy being the next week. Now, again, I don't remember if Indy was the next week last year. It was.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked at the lack of cars. I figured we were going to be touching on the 400 mark, and we were touching on the 300 mark, and I'm not quite sure why. I mean, I'm sure there's people that race all the divisionals that know a hell of a lot more about it than me, but I was just kind of surprised at the lack of cars.
As I was out riding around on Friday, I was talking to random people about it. And the thing is that you have Beach Bend,
Right.
which was this past
Sure.
weekend as well. So
You mean
typically,
Beach Bend?
a
You
lot
mean
of
the one
people
that
have
I
said the
was
same.
Beach Bend, the one I was reading the schedule of, thinking it was Epping and getting my times all screwed up. That one.
Yeah. So a lot of people said literally almost the same thing, is that the routine seems to be that those that are going to Indy go to Beach Bend because the weather is somewhat similar.
I'm not sure.
so they can go to Beach Bend, get it shaken down, figured out, learn from it, whatever, or Bowling Green, excuse me, not Beach
Yep.
Bend. Um, try to get it figured out since the weather is similar. So when they go to Indy, they have a better idea that, it's 6,000% humidity,
Right.
it's 112 degrees, or what, whatever. So they know what they're going into. And then to add a little bit more to that, what I found interesting was, as you know, I usually watch the entry list on Monday.
Yep.
Is that, I mean, there's only like probably half a dozen in stock and super stock each with Drew. And there was a um post on one particular page, well, people are protesting. Wow, 6 cars. Come on, guys.
Right.
If you're gonna protest, let's get into 50, 100 cars. That's a freaking protest. That's a that's half a dozen cars in each class. That's a oh shit, we broke something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I really don't have the money, whatever. So
Yeah. It's the, I don't understand, and I never will understand why people feel the need to badmouth any form of racing, period. I just don't understand it. I mean, I got into a debate with someone, and I don't remember if it was on our page or someone else's or whatever, but someone said something about the dot 90 cars. And obviously, I'm going to take offense to that because I've always been a dot 90 car. But listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, especially if you're sitting in the grandstands on the starting line, watching dot 90 cars are like watching paint dry. And
yeah,
I've got no problem admitting that. If you're going to watch the dot 90 cars, go to the other end of the track and watch me screw that end up because that's really entertaining. But
that's where the game is played. Yeah.
that's where the games are played and that's where the racing is entertaining. Now, if you go to the end of the track and you watch it and you still don't like it, then fine, you don't like it. But I said to someone, and only because I counted the categories that you posted for Indy, is there's 13 racing categories at Indy. And here you are, probably don't own a race car and probably not even going to Indy. And you're complaining about the dot 90 cars. I believe my exact words were everyone's got to eat, everyone's got to get something to drink, and everyone's got to pee. So figure out when you want to do those three things. My suggestion to you would be do it when the classes are running that you're not a big fan of. But to sit there and badmouth it, I don't. And then people badmouth NHRA, and then people badmouth IHRA, and then people badmouth certain classes. I don't understand it. Listen, is comp eliminator for me? No, it's not. If it wasn't for Rich Preiser running comp when he did, I don't think I've ever watched 3 rounds of comp eliminator in my whole life. Doesn't mean that comp eliminator sucks. I'm just not into it.
Right.
Either I don't understand it, I can't afford it, I'm ignorant to it. You call it whatever you want, but I'm not going to sit here and say comp eliminator sucks. I'm just not going to watch it, and I'm going to go watch pro mod or pro stock or whatever category I do like. I don't. These are the same people that when Englishtown closes, they're going to jump up and down and scream and yell. Or when ACO closes, they're going to jump up and down and scream and yell. How about instead of bad mouthing stuff that you don't like, talk about the stuff you do like, right? If you're all about Superstock, then instead of pissing and moaning about dot 90 racing, when you get online and you want to be Superman behind a keyboard, talk about Superstock, talk about something good. I mean, I hate to say things that have been said 100 times, but like everyone's mother always told them, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to close down dot 90, or they're not going to close down bracket racing. They're going to close friggin' tracks. And that's what you don't want. You don't want that. So just shut up. Enjoy the stuff that you enjoy and support that. I don't know why that's such a hard concept to understand. I don't know. I'll never get it.
And it's not necessarily everybody, but it's the select few. It's like anything else. It's the select few that make the most noise.
Make the most
You
noise,
know,
yeah.
you don't have to like that class. You don't
Right.
have to like that track. You don't
I
have
was
to
just going
like,
to say, you don't even have to like certain tracks.
right.
It is what it
Okay,
is.
cool. I mean, we had a conversation online a couple of years ago, and I think you know exactly what I'm going to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah. Yep.
But we always end up going back to this stupid ass conversation.
Right.
You know, that Friday of the national event at New England Dragway 2 years ago, it was hotter than the third level of friggin' hell.
Right.
Saturday, it was like 3 degrees from snow.
Right.
Somebody wants to start an argument that we're bashing the track. How the hell are we bashing the track where we're talking about the goddamn weather
Right.
forecast
Right.
and going, all right, well, this is really going to suck. It's too bad.
Right.
You
And
know,
and and to be clear, you even got caught up in a little bit of drama before this weekend's event, which I believe you said something to the effect of, who's coming to the torture session or something along those lines. And
yeah,
people took offense to that. And it's not, first of all, it's joking, right? Because racing a divisional is a long event, right? This weekend was a little different with it only being a 2-day format, but for people that like to make runs in their car, divisionals are tough, right? You only get to on a normal event, you only get 2 runs on Friday, you only get 2 runs on Saturday, then you make one run on Sunday, and then it's like almost round robin, and you got to just keep going and going and going. So it's a lot of hanging around. I raced the Duzen at Lebanon Valley the week before, and I double entered my car on Sunday, and it's complete chaos. So I was kind of looking forward to doing the divisional format so that I could make a run, I could sit down with my laptop, I could really analyze stuff and try and learn something. When you go to a regular 1-day bracket race or whatever, you don't have the time to do that stuff. But just because we said, hey, who's ready for the torture session or whatever, that doesn't mean it's a black eye on New England. It doesn't mean that we're saying that. What really pisses me off is that if you're a fan of the show and you've been paying attention to what we've been doing for the last 10 years or however long it's been, you know goddamn well we are not going to bash any form of racing or any track. So for you to get on your soapbox and say, "Oh, what's that supposed to mean?" or "Oh yeah, when the races are at New York, they're great, but when they're at New Hampshire, it's a torture session," dude, you're picking a fight with the wrong crowd. No one has done more to try and support this sport than Chris and I have. End of story. So if you're going to try and pick a fight, do yourself a favor, put your Superman shirt on, get behind your keyboard, and go do it with someone else that gives a shit because we don't. And to do it, you're just making yourself look like an idiot in front of everybody else because 95% of the people know how we feel about this sport in all tracks, especially in Division One, but all tracks, period. We don't want to badmouth any track. We've had a ton of people that wanted to come on the show or wanted to make comments that wanted to badmouth plenty of tracks. We don't allow it. Period. End of story. We don't allow it. So if you still question our loyalty, that's on you. But the really cool thing is up in the upper right hand corner, right about here, Whenever you're on News Network, there's 3 little dots. Do us a favor, click it and beat it, because we don't need your shit.
Yeah.
End of story.
We're equal opportunity harassers.
Right.
We'll pick on anybody,
Absolutely.
and we expect it back.
And for the record, yes, we have a lot of people come on from Lebanon Valley. Lebanon Valley is my home track. Wayne, very approachable. William, Dan Bell, Carabell, all them very approachable. If anyone from New England Dragway wants to come on the show, all you got to do is the exact same thing everyone from Lebanon Valley that came on the show did. Message Chris or I and tell us when. That's simple.
And I just for the, I will add this. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Board members, track managers, people that just race there and want to talk something good about the track or a class that they have or whatever. The dude spraying water in the burnout box. We don't care. We would love to have someone on from New England. We could have them on once a month, twice a month. I don't care. If it's talking good about drag racing and it's promoting something drag racing, please come on. Open invitation. You got it right now from Chris and I. Anytime you want.
I have reached out to every track in Division One
Mhm.
and said, "Hey, this is who I am. This is
Right.
what I have to offer. Love to have you come on."
Right.
Did my part. Some have responded back. Jim Halsey, he of all people, with how freaking busy he is between the
Right.
track, his racing program, and his businesses,
Yep.
he took the time to email me back and said, "Hey, I appreciate it. I just don't have the time."
Sure.
I'm like, all right, cool, not a problem. I get it. But if you don't respond back, it's not. I've done my part.
And again, we're not going to talk badly about the people that don't respond back either, right? It's
Right.
not like we're sitting here going, "Oh, we reached out to such and such a track and they can't be bothered by us." It's not even the case. Everyone's got a life. There's plenty of Tuesdays where I plan on being on and I can't because of whatever I got going on. It's not because I'm too good or whatever. It's just life gets in the way sometimes, and we don't have an issue with any of that. What we do have an issue with is people making false accusations about how we feel about certain things. I'm telling you something right now. If I had an issue with a track or I had an issue with people that worked at the track, I wouldn't go to the track. That's just the way it is. And not only was I there this weekend, but so were you. Hold on. Everything is
Yep.
opposite. So were you. Oh, you're over there. Okay, I don't
Oh
know where.
well,
You
you're
you
over
were there
there and
too,
I'm
and not
over
only
here.
were you there, but you're there every time there's a divisional and a national. And
Yep.
if you hated the place, pretty confident you wouldn't bother going.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, it seems simple, but the other thing, while I'm on my soapbox and I'm pissing and moaning, the people that are bashing NHRA for whatever reason, I don't get it. But I talked to someone. I don't know if I should say his name or not, so I'm not going to. But
No.
I heard a couple of years ago, and it could have been 10 years ago for all I know. But again, someone bashing NHRA, and one of the tech inspectors that I talked to said something, and I wish I remember who that was, but they said, "Pete, at a national event, think about the amount of employees that NHRA has at the track and the percentage of employees that are there for the sportsman racer, and how many fewer employees there would be if all they had to do was tend to the 40 or so pro cars on the parking lot and some exhibition stuff." And he said at the time, he goes, "I'm willing to bet you that 75% of the employees that are hired by NHRA nationwide are there for the sportsman racer. So while you're going to hear stories about things that aren't right, in my opinion, they're isolated incidences, and you know you can't get 10 people to agree on what color grass is, so you're not going to get 500 people at any given event to agree on how they should be treated. But at the end of the day, when you look at how many employees NHRA sets forward to deal with and help the sportsman racer, how you could say they don't give a shit about the sportsman racer, I don't get it. I'll never understand it.
I mean, we will not deny they do some really stupid shit sometimes.
Yeah, so
But
I'll give you. Go ahead, and then I got an example.
but so do I.
Yep.
So does he.
I saw and I don't know what page it was on, but I saw some guy bitching about going all the way out to Indy, and he signed up for Super Gas, and for some reason they had him in Super Comp, and they wouldn't change it, and they basically told him he was shit out of luck. Now, if that's the case, that's a really effed up thing to do to someone who probably spent thousands of dollars just to roll through the gate. And super gas is not filled and they didn't start racing yet. So what's the big deal with switching them over to super gas? Here's the issue I have, and I'm not trying to discredit the gentleman who came online and posted a complaint. But like everything else in this world, there's three sides to every story. I have a tough time seeing a person walk up to the gate and say, "Hey, I'm here for super gas. Here's my credentials." And they say, "Oh, sorry, you're listed under super comp. You screwed up and you're shit out of luck." I have a tough time believing that. There's a possibility that that's exactly what happened. And if that's the case, that's very wrong, but nobody's perfect. And I'm not going to bash an organization that if all of a sudden NHRA pulled in the sidewalks and collapsed the building and said, "We're done," I don't think people realize how bad that would be for the sport. I mean, every time you drive into your local racetrack and you see that NHRA logo, people aren't just sticking NHRA on the side of the tower because they like the way it looks. It's the sanctioning body that drives this whole sport. And it's something that's needed. And to prove how important they are, there's a lot of other organizations that have tried and with limited or no success. Now, could IHRA keep going the way they're going and blow it out of the water and be the next NHRA? Maybe. I can tell you one thing, I'm not going to root against them. There's a reason why everywhere there's a McDonald's, there's a Burger King right next door. And I don't think if IHRA got into the game, I don't think it would be a bad thing for NHRA. I think they would both help each other, make each other better. I mean, that's a proven business plan. We've seen it over and over again. I just don't understand rooting against anything in this sport, even if there's certain parts of it that you don't like. I don't get it.
Complete squirrel moment. Um, from a friend of ours at Division One.
Yep.
Everyone, just keep your eyes peeled this week on the Indy race. Some big things are coming in 2026, and it will have an effect on Division One.
Oh, okay. All right. Good, bad. You look at the glasses half full. Who knows? I can tell you some of the things I've seen, and again, I'm really not a player because I haven't raced for points in Division One in a long time, but I love the double races. I remember when I first started, we had the double race in Maple Grove, showing you how old I am. I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was an open and then a divisional. But this year they did the double at Media, and they're doing another double in Virginia, and those are just divisionals. Those are not opens. I think that's awesome that they do stuff like that. And again, NHRA hates the sportsman racer. The NHRA employees work their asses off at a normal race. When you throw a double in a 4-day weekend, I mean, I feel bad for them. And then you throw 90 plus degree heat and humidity on top of it. How anyone could say that they don't do anything for the sportsman racer, I'll never understand it.
Um, again from Division One. Now we now have a double at VMP, which you just talked about.
Yep.
And then that leads right into the national event at Maple Grove. So
I don't know. I don't know what more people expect. Granted, listen, I'll be the first one to say for what you pay to get in, I think the payout should be more. But when we go up to the window and we need service and we get it instantly, or the stock and super stockers go through weight and fuel check and they fly right through and there isn't a line 8 miles long, or whenever you have a question or you need a chassis certification, they're right there and do it in a very timely fashion. All that shit costs money. That costs money. So everyone thinks, well, it costs me $200 to get in, and there's 100 cars in the class, so that's X amount of dollars, and they're only paying out this. Look at all the money that they're making. Anyone
well,
who owns a business knows that's not the case.
I don't know if you've noticed at Lebanon Valley Divisional and at this past weekend in Epping that a lot of faces I've never seen before as far as NHRA employees. So my assumption is they're having to fly people in from wherever to help fill in these positions.
Yeah, and not only that, and this kind of contradicts what I'm saying, but these people don't make a lot of money. They're not working these weekends in the heat and all this stuff to feed their family. They're doing it for grocery money. And the main reason why they're doing it is because they love the sport. So if I'm the person working the scales, whatever, starting line or whatever, and I'm making pretty much minimum wage, and I tune into Racers News Network, and I see 3 or 4 people talking about how the NHRA treats them like shit, and they don't care about the sportsman racer. You know what? If I'm the one sitting there sweating my ass off all weekend trying to do everything I can, I'm going to read that and I'm going to take serious offense to that. So think before you speak, or like I said, if you don't have anything good to say, just shut up. Just shut up. That would be my best advice.
All right, two corrections. Last year, Indy was not the weekend after New England. I thought it was.
Yep.
My mistake. Um, and they weren't flown in; they're just new employees. But still,
Yeah, right. Right.
new group of people.
At
You don't know
HRA,
who they
didn't give
are.
a shit about the sportsman racer. Why would they bother replacing the employees? Let the people that are there work a little harder and they'll save a couple bucks on payroll. Who cares?
Yeah.
They don't care about the sportsman racers, so who cares? That's the what drives me crazy.
I mean, and Jim, I can't. Jim is. I think his last name is Bowen. He was the one who usually, the heavyset guy, usually takes care of top alcohol.
Correct.
He retired at the banquet
Right.
He's been in a couple. I don't know how many other ones. I know he was 11 Valley. He was at New England this past weekend. You know, so
I don't know. The sad thing about it is 5 years ago, 5 years from now, we'll probably be having the same friggin' conversation and being frustrated. And people just are the way they are, and I don't understand why, but whatever.
I mean, I'm the first to admit that a couple of years ago I was an enormous pain in the ass. I didn't care what
But
if I wanted to say something, I said it. Consequences be damned.
what's funny about that is, and I don't know if I've ever even told you this or not, but I bumped into Dave Moan and he mentioned something about you, and I kind of rolled my eyes like, don't, please don't throw me in the same group as him because I don't
Uh,
do that. He goes, Pete, he says some stuff that I don't agree with, but at the end of the day, he's a very good advocate for the sport. So now there's someone that was running the division that at times you weren't always the most courteous,
oh
and
God, no.
he still had that to say about you, which is way more of a man than me because I would have called you a bunch of four-letter words and
Which
probably
you
never talked
normally do anyways. So
to you.
it's like Steve and I. Me and Steve have a love-hate relationship.
Steve,
Um,
Steve almost threw me out of the track when I was just driving
I
in.
know you're telling me that. No, you're not allowed in here. Get the hell out.
Ran up, he's like, get out of here. I'm like, shut up, you cranky bastard.
Yeah, you know, I harass the crap out of him, and he gets pissed off and gives it right back to me.
Yep.
But yet, when we see each other at the track, we shake hands and we laugh, and I give him stupid stickers, and
Right. And listen,
we have a
I
good
said
time.
something stupid a week ago because I did not understand on their original schedule why you would send out Super Street and then Junior Dragster. And it makes you feel like Super Street is just like the you know crash test dummies. Go out and make sure that everything's okay, and then we're
You're
going to send
preheating it for the
out.
kids.
I had absolutely no idea that there was a rhyme and reason. And Steve corrected me. And he's like, what are you, an idiot? Do you think that we don't have a reason for doing what we're doing? And at the end of the day, yeah, I was a friggin' idiot. It didn't make any sense to me. And I ran my mouth and I shouldn't have. Instead of just reaching out to Steve and saying, Steve, I got to ask you, why the hell would you guys do this? He would have explained it to me that this is what we got to do so the juniors can make it down the track. It would have made sense. Did I bother to reach out to him? Even though whenever I reach out to him, he answers me instantly? No. I went online and I made a stupid fucking comment, and here we are. But he
Questions
corrected
answered,
me,
problem solved.
he laughed at me, and I laughed at myself, and here we are.
Yep. Just out of curiosity, what is the reason? The reason for what, Matt?
For I assume he means super street going out, and then junior
Oh,
is when they prep the track. If they prep the track the way they normally do and send junior dragsters right out, they can't move in the glue.
yeah.
So what they do is they prep the track like they would for the beginning of every day. They send a class out that, and I'm sure they probably figure Super Street always has like half the cars or less than stock. So they send us out. They probably haven't figured out how many runs they got to put down the track to make it usable for the juniors so they don't get stuck in the glue. So they send down 15 or 20 pairs of Super Street, get that class out of the way, and then the track is prime for juniors. Then they run the juniors, and I'm assuming, and Steve could correct me if I'm wrong, but then I'm assuming they re-prep the track again, quick, touch it up, and then send stock out. But I had no idea that after they prepped the track, that juniors couldn't move because it was too sticky for them. And like I said, instead of inquiring, I pretty much made an ass out of myself, and here we are.
But but we
Won't be
got
the last.
resolution. So
Yep.
Problem solvers. We're problem solvers. See this little sticker right here? We're problem solvers.
Not a problem solver. I run my mouth and then the problem solves itself.
Well,
When I
this is where you come for the answers. Don't bother calling the division office.
no,
Ask us. We'll put it out,
they
and
would
then they'll
normally
answer.
answer a lot quicker, but we'll still get to the bottom line.
Yeah, it may take us 2 weeks, but we'll get there.
Yep, that's all good. So,
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about something a little bit positive before we go off the air.
before Pete goes to sleep.
Indy, our Super Bowl this weekend. Um, you know what I would like? Because a lot of people complained about this. I would like Steve's opinion, or anyone that works Division One's opinion, as to why they're not letting stock and super stock uncork like they have in years past. Because even though I don't agree with it, and when I say I don't agree with it, it's only because I like to see people go 2 seconds under once a year because I think it's awesome.
And we want
But
to see the pickup truck win.
exactly, yeah, the cowboy, right?
Yep.
But I guarantee you, someone in Glendora didn't wake up and say, "Yeah, let's just say they can't do that this year." There's got to be a reason for it from the technical end somewhere. I'm just curious as to what it is.
Yeah, I would like to know too because I I went to Indy a long time ago, like when I was in my teens,
Yep.
and I honestly can't remember anything about the AHFS from back then, if it even existed back when I was a teenager.
Right.
But I really want to go and I want to see him fly. I don't want to go and just see a regular weekly race, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, when you, I don't know. I guess it depends on, again, um, what class is your favorite class. So if I was an avid stalker or super stalker, and I went to all the races in my division, and then I decided I was going to make the trek to Indy. Yes, I would definitely be disappointed. That would be something I would really look forward to, is watching them uncork and go. So I could see where that would be a disappointment. For the average fan that goes there to see the pros, pro stock, pro mod, for the 3 people that enjoy watching the .90 racing, I don't really think it's going to make a shit bit of difference as far as attendance goes. I do personally know 2 or 3 people that aren't going to Indy because of that rule. But like I said, I would love to know from someone remotely inside as to why they made that decision to do that this year.
Um, it's complicated for sure, and it's way too much to type.
Okay, but there is a reason,
But there, yeah,
right?
but he
There's a
said
reason.
you can go to the Dutch. And sorry, I was probably like just totally yelled because I was trying to adjust myself. Ah. Um, come to the Dutch, and you can let it all hang out.
So there's a reason why they did it, which again is something that I thought from the very beginning. Right? Someone in Glendora didn't wake up and say, "Ah, we ain't going to do it this year," just because
For
I don't.
those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I would love, and if I am going to criticize NHRA about something, it's their lack of communication.
Oh, big time. Big time.
It's I wish they would communicate better. It's not that they owe anybody anything, but of all the people that pissed and moaned about why this is going on, I would feel a lot better if they said, "Listen, we're going to do this. Maybe it's just this year, maybe it's forever, but these are the reasons why." You don't necessarily have to agree with the reasons, but at least if they gave reasons, it would be something instead of just saying we're not going to do it. That is the
And
one thing I will criticize NHRA about.
right,
They do
instead of
not,
just basically saying, and instead of them basically just saying, well, too bad, so sad, suck it
right.
up. Yeah, and he agrees as well
Yeah,
with that statement.
they, they need to do a better job. Well, they don't need to do shit, but I would like to see them do a better job at communicating.
Right,
Uh, but who the hell am I?
right. Um, I totally was gonna say something. I forgot what the hell it was.
It's always next week.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to go at the very least one more time
Right.
in my life, but I won't go if they're not gonna just let it all hang out.
Now, see, I'm just the opposite in that I've never been, and if the opportunity presents itself that I'm going to go, I don't give a shit if they make stock run with a friggin' throttle stop on it. I'm going just because I want the whole experience.
Well,
Um,
see that the flip side of the coin of that for me is that again, love to see stock and super stock just absolutely rip it up.
right.
Want to see the Hemi challenge.
Yep. Yeah. Factory X, the factory showdown. Um, there's something to be said, even though I know years ago they used to have 30 top fuel dragsters show up and only take 16 or whatever, but they still are over quota. And there's something to be said for watching teams grind to get in on the bump. Even if there's only one or two that aren't going to make the bump, it's still good to see the grind to get in. Um,
Right.
that's what I
Let's
would go for. Right? And look, it's a bucket list thing. I mean, if you're a true fan of the sport and you say you have no desire to go to Indy, are you really a fan of the sport?
right. Yeah, you want to go see the granddaddy of all drag races. Yeah.
I do not. I am not interested in NASCAR whatsoever. But I still wanted to go see the Daytona 500, and I did.
Yeah. Um, I was just told for you to check your email after.
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I went when I was a teenager, so you're talking, 40 plus years ago.
Yep.
And I'd like to take my son so he can see it, just to say that he saw it. And so just,
Yeah. Right. Right.
you know,
I
and
will go
the thing,
someday. Um, Probably when I retire because it's tough to do it when school starts that weekend. But
right, because you're essentially prepping to go back in the classroom. You know, I posted that screenshot of no, this is where a lot of that's coming from. I know that because I've been watching it all day long.
sure.
Um, of the entries for Indy. They closed yesterday at, you know, 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
And I put up a before and an after, and it's got a life of its own now, the post does. And some of the comments I didn't approve. Because all on our page, because of all the spammers and the bots and all that crap, I have to approve every friggin' post. And there were just some in there that did not make sense. And I'm
Right.
going to say about one in particular. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. A full field of fuel cars is 16. Am I right?
That is correct.
Okay. There were at least half a dozen posts of people saying, oh, there's not a full field of cars. There's 17 top fuel dragsters. And I think I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure it was like 19 um funny cars.
Yeah, and I feel like there was over 20 pro stock.
Yeah, give me just a sec so we make sure we have our information right here. Now, did some of the classes suffer? Yes.
Yep.
Again, we'll go back to, about half a dozen withdrew from stock and another roughly half a dozen withdrew from super stock for whatever reason. They broke. They're
Sure.
being
Yeah, right.
and whatever the case may be. And there we go. All right. So, yeah, 17 top field dragsters. So there's a full field plus one. Somebody's going home.
Mhm.
Field funny card, 19. Full
Three
field
are
plus
gone.
three. Pro stock, 21. I believe pro stock is the same thing, right? 16.
Right. Five are
So
going home.
full field plus five.
Yep.
Pro stock bike, I think again is
16.
16.
Yep.
So three. Pro mod, I honestly have no idea about pro mod. If there's a full
How
field
many?
or if
How many
it's
are there?
there's 21 on the list.
It could be 16.
All right, I'm sure somebody will pipe in.
Yep.
Top alcohol dragster, 20. And I think at a national event there, it's 16 cars.
I'm almost positive there's 16 at a national event.
Yeah, because I know we had talked about this in the past and Taylor gave us the answer, but I'll
Right.
be damned if I can remember what it was.
Right. Yeah, I think
Um,
well, we already know it's 8 at a divisional.
yeah, so it's
I'm
got to be
almost
16
positive it's 6.
at a national. Top alcohol funny card, 13. So minus three.
And I got to be honest with you, it's the and we could debate until the cows come home about what's going on with top alcohol funny car. I didn't think there were 13 left in the country, so
I know.
I was pretty impressed that that number was that high.
I mean, we had what, two this past weekend in
Yeah,
Epping.
yeah, and Lebanon Valley had 3, I think,
Four
4.
maybe?
Yeah,
Comp 49. That's a lot of, but they also have that big money race thing for Comp Eliminator. I don't remember what it's called. But all right, so again, super stock quota of 150, there's 142. It was either 149 or 150 the other day.
mm-hmm.
Stock, again, 150. It's at 144. And again, I believe it was at 150 the other day. Super comp, 150. There's 116 on the sheet. Super gas, 150. There's 105 on the sheet.
And that's something that I haven't been paying attention to the numbers as of late. But super gas was always the lowest of the dot 90s. Always.
At any national event or at Indy specifically?
No, I want to, well, I shouldn't say any national event. I'll say in D1.
Okay.
Super gas always had the lowest amount out of all the categories. And I mean, they're right there now. They're neck and neck with Supercom. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the numbers are terrible.
Yeah. Top sportsman, quota of 40. There's 29 on the list.
Yeah.
Top dragster, again, quota of 40. There's 35.
I'm actually a little surprised at that because I feel like out in the Indy area, that's like the top sportsman, top dragster capital of the world. And I'm a little surprised that those categories aren't full.
Right. It always surprises me when I look at any of the national events that top sportsman and top dragster are full
Right.
because they just next to pro mod, they seem like the it class right now.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's I'll never ever in my life own a pro stock car. I'll never own a pro mod, but man, I sure would like to own a top sportsman car. That would be a very cool category to run.
All right, factory stock 24 total.
Yep.
Hemi challenge they always has a sky high quota that's at 50, and there's 20 on the list. This one, uh,
Factory X.
factory X.
I knew you.
You know, when the concept of it first came out,
Right.
It was so cool. And then it just seems like it kept getting screwed with and screwed with and screwed with. And now it, it seems like it should be an exhibition class.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Plus,
mean, listen, again, it might not be working out, but they tried it, right? They
right,
listened to people and they tried it. And if it's not working, it's not working. I mean, they could give them the slot, they could give them the rules to the class, but if they don't build it, what could NHRA do about it?
right. Let's see. I'm
Is
just
that it?
trying now. I'm looking at messages. To try to play catch up from when I
Right. I would be curious as to like look at entries from the year past just to see how much lower it is, if it's lower, what categories are lower. Um, I don't really know.
right. Who the hell's Billy when we need him?
Yeah, tell me about it.
He would have had that 10 minutes ago before we even thought about talking about it.
Right.
Promod is 16 according to Rob. This is
What is
16 car field.
Promod?
Promod. Yeah. Alki is 16 also.
Yep.
So comp is 64 at Indy. Oh, Roof Tech Comp Clash is the name of that big money thing for the comp cars.
Gotcha.
So that would be the other class I'd want to see too. Is comp because I'm a fan of comp.
Right.
I like the diversity of the class. You know, you
Sure.
can have you have your four-cylinder dragster,
Right.
and you're going up against a friggin' double A pro mod.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even we saw Brandon Miller in comp
with
uh,
his pro
in a
stock car.
postdoc car at Epic. I mean, that's
Yep,
kind of cool,
it is.
you know.
So,
But all right. Well, I think we've beaten every horse that we possibly can to death.
and then we'll come back next Tuesday and we'll wrap up the beatings. Are you going to be available?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I get home Monday
So,
afternoon, so I should be good to go.
all right. Um, but coming up in a couple of weeks too, I did speak with Frank A. Volpe, who is going to be the Super Street rep for Jegs All Stars for Division One. He's going to be joining us, so congratulations. He said
Very
he doesn't
cool.
leave till like the second week of October, so he'll we have plenty of time, but I want to make sure we get him on. And
Dynamite.
I think that's about it. So it was just kind of a BS session tonight, more than usual.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So if anybody's racing anywhere this weekend, best of luck. Mr. Keister, are you still out there? I know his last race of the year is like literally within the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So
Yeah.
give him
Yeah,
a
might
minute. So he can,
might not be a bad idea to get him on too if he wants to talk about the last race. And
give him a minute here, and then we'll start. We'll boogaloo. Hi, Ari, my cat. Dun 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 dun. He must have called it a night. All
it
right.
happens.
Well, I can always reach out to him anytime, so that's fine. Um, again, if everybody, if you're headed out somewhere this weekend, please be safe, be careful. a lot of weird shit's been happening in the racing universe lately, and it needs to stop.
Needs to stop. That's it.
Yep. So, again,
Also, I want to mention, and I think you posted it, but there were a couple of cars in the incident in the staging lanes at Epping. One of the cars, the guy is chasing a Super Street championship. So a GoFundMe was set up for him today. And did we share it on our page?
we did. Just gonna want to get all the info on it here real quick. Again, please
So
bear with me for
again,
just.
I mean, I feel like we're constantly coming on here and asking you guys to help out racers in need, but if you can, um, and the other thing that I want to say too is, and again, most people that know the situation knows who the driver was of the car that started the
Buffle.
thing. Yeah. And I've met the guy personally a couple of times, and he's about as nice a guy as it gets. Complimented me on my car a bunch of times, and just don't try not to pass judgment if you can help it. The only people, in my opinion, that should be over the top pissed off aren't, and that's a fact.
A
They
testament to them as people too.
Right. I mean, the person with the broken ribs, the person who watched his wife get hurt and essentially lost his car. If he's not furious, if he's not saying anything bad about the person, nobody should. And that's just the way it is. So, things happen. No one woke up that morning expecting to see that or witness that or be the victim of that. I guarantee you the driver of the car did not wake up that morning and say, I'm going to drive through the staging lanes with reckless abandon and I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
That definitely didn't happen. So just try and, you know, kind of keep an open mind. And if the people that got hurt by it aren't upset with the individual, who are we to be upset with the individual?
Right. And you made me think of a couple other things. The other day, Nelson Bellat or Bellat, I don't know how he pronounces his last name,
Yep.
actually has already offered to donate a car
Yep.
to Ray and Lori for them to rebuild.
Yep.
And if you have pictures of any of the cars, good for you. I
Right.
have pictures of pretty much everything.
Right.
Won't put them on our page.
Not going to see them on our page.
Yeah, because if I see them, I'll nuke them. I'll ban you, block you, and hope you get run over by a truck.
Listen, at the end of the day, if the owners of the cars want to post pictures, they can. It's not up to us to do it.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have pictures. Pete has seen them. Pete saw the whole thing live and in person. Don't need to see
Yeah.
it again. Nobody needs to see what happened. There were one, two, three, four cars involved, including the one that started the impact. And it's on those four people. And
Yep.
that's it.
Yep. No one
So
lost their life.
yeah, everybody was
That's number one.
yeah, everybody came out of it with a pulse still in their body.
Right. Right.
So
Some way worse than others, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to be fine.
yep,
And like Ray said, nothing else really matters.
nope, nothing matters except for valuable life lessons. And I know I constantly harp on the shit I went through in December, but I learned a lot.
Yep.
And my attitude about a lot of things has changed. Go through something like that or what they're going through, and your attitude will change as well. So,
Amen.
all right, that's it, boys and girls. Pete's got to get up and fill minds with knowledge,
Not yet. Not yet.
or or go and get his
Thursday.
mind filled with knowledge. That
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow they teach me how to teach, and then Thursday I do it.
educate the educator.
It's painful. It's the same shit every year.
Every year.
Every freaking year.
I loved my job. I miss my job every day of the week,
Yep.
even on the weekends. But I hated the back to school stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
That would literally be like you wake up in the morning and go, oh,
Today we
and it's
had to
not.
travel. We had 3 professional development days to start the school year. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the kids come back Thursday and Friday. Holiday weekend, and then we're off and running.
And
And we have something called a district PD day, which was today, which everyone in the transportation trade, which is auto body, automotive, diesel, we all meet at a central location and have a professional development day. And it's the same shit that we do on Monday and on Wednesday. It's just on Tuesday we're doing it with all the transportation people, but it's literally the same shit as here and here. It's like, oh,
um
painful.
obviously you can say no, but would you want to do a quick Reader's Digest version of that meeting that you had on Friday with the person with the rep from Canada? I just thought of it. Sorry.
Oh, about the told teachers thing
Yeah, with
with what?
Glenn Grove
Yeah,
from.
yeah, 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 yeah,
We'll
yeah. I think
start.
that would be cool. What we should probably do is
We'll do
figure
that
out
next
who
week.
players are going to be. We already know one definitely.
Yeah.
I have another one in mind. And once we get some details, I would love for us all to be on and let people know what Glendora wants us to do. And yeah, we're going to promote the shit out of this thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's I caught bits and pieces of it, and it sounds like it's gonna be really cool, and would
I mean, at the end,
absolutely
we could
love
give a
to do
little
our
bit of
part
it.
to
At
help.
the end of the day, I was approached. Bill, I'm going to slaughter his last name. Help me out. Masiello.
Oh, Masiello, yeah.
Okay, I got it. Good.
BJ, yeah, BJ Masiello.
DJ, yep. And him and I were approached by Glenn Grove, and uh, California NHRA is looking to do something with getting kids to the track, some kind of seminar, some kind of something to get kids there, and they want us to get our kids, meaning school kids, at the track. Like I said, it's in the very preliminary stages, but right now we're looking at the divisional at Lebanon Valley as one of the possibilities. And once we get more info, we're going to promote the shit out of this thing, probably to the point of the average person's going to be tired of hearing about it. But yeah, I
Maybe
think
I'll
it'd be,
actually remember what it is.
yeah. And again, you know, anytime you could introduce anybody to what we do, it can't be a bad thing. So,
Well, yeah, like I said, I caught a couple bits and pieces of it, and it sounds like it's gonna be really awesome, and
I mean,
would love to
honestly,
do.
right now that's all there is bits and pieces. I basically told you everything that I know, um, but it's coming, and it should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I'll be doing my part then to chase stuff down to so the kids have giveaways to take home with them. So,
Awesome.
all right, very cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's how we do our little crazy thing here at Racers News Network Live. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Like I said, if you're driving, you're racing, stay safe, be good, and we'll talk to you all next Tuesday.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.